Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, look, you're not muted this time.
I know, I remembered. I did the thing. I clicked the button. It all works wonderful. I know how to work my computer still. I know I haven't been here in a bit.
Oh, man. Cool. So, how's Elden Ring been treating you?
After the dual boss you saw me doing, there was a worse boss.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So,
All these things for me to look forward to.
It was a rough fight. It was the delayed attacks and the quick attacks combination. My brain just doesn't process it that well. It's
like
difficult. It's a good fight though. Cool boss. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I've got like maybe another hour or two in an area up north that I need to finish exploring, and then I'm going into like final end game bits. I don't know how many bosses there are going to be, but it's like I'm going to become try to become an Elden Lord or whatever it is. Or,
yes.
There's 6 endings, so I got
six
one.
Endings?
Yeah. So I got one. I know which ending I got, but I don't know what happens or anything. I just know the name of it. It's called the Chaos ending. So that's the only thing I know. So I've got I gotta go to this final area and figure out what I got to do there. I don't know. I don't know how many bosses or how much I have to explore in that area. But I'm guessing I'm probably by this week, by like Friday, Saturday, I'll beat it. And then I'm going into a second playthrough, and I'm swearing off all heavy weapons. I'm only going light, small weapons.
I've never even tried a light, small weapon.
No, I always pick like super heavy, great swords, ultra great, like fume swords, something that's like heavy and slow. The one weapon that you saw me using, that one I got early game, and I pretty much use it the whole time. And I would consider that like a medium heavy. It's heavy enough to stun people, but it also is kind of quick. It doesn't have that big thud pause at the end like the big swords. But I did just switch to a big thuddy sword, and I'm going to be using that probably for the end game. And then my next game that I start this weekend, next week, I have like 6 or 7 different light weapons picked out, and I'm not touching a big weapon. I'm hoping I don't have to at all, ever. And I'm going to try not to summon either the best I can and not use any summons, because I've been summoning for the majority of the game.
Hey, I feel like this game is almost built to have to do that, but
in some areas I feel like or like there's too many dual boss fights for me. I had a bad experience with my very first Souls game. I got stuck on ONS for like 10 hours, and then I went somewhere else and trained and leveled up like crazy for like 20 hours, and then came back and barely skated by and beat him, and I'm just like, oh my god. And so I've always hated dual bosses since then, and this game is freaking loaded with them. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Summoned on. So I'm thinking I will try to do my best to not summon. If it's a single boss fight, I will 100% not summon. I will grind it out. If it's a dual boss fight, I will give it 5 hours. If I don't beat it within 5 hours, I'm summoning.
I feel like that's a really good try. 5 hours on your own.
If I'm struggling, then yeah. And that was, oh man, the boss that I said that was worse after the dual fight. I got it down to 1 hit, and it would have died, and I died, and I was like, oh my god. And my last try, it was midnight. I was like, all right, I'll do one more attempt, and then I'll get off. And I was like, oh man, I can't get off when I was 1 hit away. And so I tried again, and about 5 tries later, I got it so low I couldn't even see the HP bar, and I died. Like, it wasn't even there, and I'm just like, Oh my, I was like, if I wouldn't cry rewatching these clips, I would clip it and post it. I was like, but I will get so upset. I can't do it. And so
no.
I spent the next hour and a half grinding it and finally beat it. Went to bed late, but I was like, I can't go to bed. I won't sleep. I'll just sit there and wake up all night thinking about the stupid boss wanting to get on. I'm like, I can't. I know I can do it. Like, I will get it. And finally got it, but oh man, that was hilarious. A fight. And I had already been on it for like 2 hours. It was like 3-4 hour fight. I'm just like, oh
I can't do it. I can't go to bed this way. I won't sleep.
I'm hoping by next game, my new game plus, my brain will acclimate to the delayed attacks and maybe I'll do a little bit better or something.
Ooh, I sure hope so for your sake.
How was it going for you?
You've seen most of my progress. It's going. I haven't been stuck on anyone for more than, I think 4 hours is my max so far. But I have seen a couple of later bosses that I'm like, that's gonna take me a minute.
Yeah, there's some pretty tough ones in there, but I mean, so far I've enjoyed everything quite a bit. I think some of the bosses were repeated a little too much. But I get it. I get why, and it's like overall though, like the game is absolutely fantastic. I've never, like, other than Sekiro, I went into the 4 new game pluses just to get the 4 endings for it. Aside from that, I've never gone into a new game plus on any of the Souls games before, and this one I'm considering already doing. I know guaranteed I'm doing a new game plus. I'm going straight into that after I beat this one. But I may even do more than that because I really want to test out like a faith build, and I want to check out the magic, and I really want to check out the frenzy arcane stuff.
Yeah, that stuff looks really cool.
I'm thinking there's going to be at least like 4 or 5 playthroughs of it, and I'm 103 hours in right now. And I'm just getting to end game, so I'm hoping the next game speeds up a little. It's a long game.
Well, it'll be less like not mindless wandering, aimless wandering, because like a lot of the first playthrough is just like wandering around because you don't know where anything is.
And double checking too. Like I went back to the first area like 4 or 5 times running around there, and every time I went I found another cave, another catacomb, or ruins or something I didn't find.
Right, you're like,
or this or that, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, where the heck is that? And so I'm always seeing stuff, and if I'm watching somebody play an area I've already been through and they find something I haven't found yet, I'm like, okay, I gotta make note. I gotta go back to that.
You're like, oh, well, gotta go back there. I know, it's like last stream I was playing, and Jackie in chat was like, did you fight the dragon that's like at the lake near the beginning? And I was like, no, I didn't even know there was one there. So I had to go back and do that.
The dragon is like one of the big surprises because like it's like one of those like jump out scares, like the birds that come flying down like a torpedo in Sekiro.
Right, you're like,
and stuff. Yeah.
Gotta die.
There's a lot of good jump scares in the game with dragons popping out of the sky and enemies hiding around corners and stuff. So it's been long but quick 100 hours.
It's been, and for me it's been like,
I am so sorry about that.
I've been really enjoying it.
Died.
Oh. You're good.
And so my AirPod disconnected, and all of a sudden the audio on my phone started going, and I'm like,
you're
okay,
like, oh,
stop it.
It's been really fun, but like the length of it actually has been really difficult for me because like of how like, because I'm like the opposite as far as like, because you're very much hyper focused and I'm very much multitask, do everything all at once. And so it's like my brain gets like 40 hours into a game and it's ready to play something else.
Yeah, see,
it's like, which is why I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna rotate this other game because my brain is, while it's enjoying this game, it's ready to play something else as well.
Yeah. See, and normally around 40, like 30 to 50 hours, I'm usually the same. Like typically I want to be done with the game and I'll start rushing it and skipping content at the end. And I'm just now getting to that point with this one where I'm like, okay, I'm done exploring and finding stupid catacombs. I just want to beat bosses. I want to see what the end and the story has to be. Like, I can randomly come across these stupid catacombs later, next time, or whatever. Like, I can skip the beginning ones and go to these in the next game or something. I'm like, no, just do it. Just get them all. See what is there. And so, like, I go through them a little bit quicker. I'm not, like, as fine-tooth comb and stuff. I'll sprint through and try to just, like, get to the boss and pick up whatever items I see along the way and all that. But, like, yeah, it's crazy. My original plan was I was just going to play a little bit of Horizon, a little bit of Elden, and kind of jump back and forth. And I figured also, like, by the time the 2 weeks had expired, like, between Elden and Horizon, that I would have probably beaten Horizon or come close to it. And I didn't. I got, like, maybe 15 hours into Horizon, and then Elden came out. And that's all I could play. I'm like, I don't want to play anything. I'm like, forget every other game.
That's
and
so funny.
now it's like, it'll probably be like June before I get to Horizon, and then I'll play that, beat it, and then I got Strangers Paradise that I really want to play. And I don't know if I'll be hooked on that one like Elden, and maybe I'll bounce between the two. But
I think this one's definitely gonna be faster as far as like, because it's not as open world as Elden, obviously. So I don't think it's gonna be as long. So it probably won't take you as long. I'm enjoying it though.
The demo when I played it, it seemed like it was gonna be like a linear semi-open dungeon where it's like you'll have a straight path to where you need to go, but maybe a couple corridors off to the side that you can run down and explore, but they'll wind back or dead end and then you'll come back to the main path. But not like
the dungeons themselves are mostly linear so far. And then like as far as like the plot points are, because it's like gives you specific quest locations, so you have like your main quests, and then it gives you a bunch of side quests, and the side quests you basically do, I don't know why they're side quests, they really should just be main story quests, because it's basically to level up your gear, because the way that it works is it goes off of like, it's like this mission is recommended for an average gear level of blah, so it's not necessarily your level, it's your class gear level.
Yeah, because I remember in the demo, it like your character, I don't really remember the character having a level. It was like what your gear was and stuff. It was different. It was something new. And I remember the demo had like the difficulty selector, so like you could pick different difficulties. So I think
that's still a thing.
Depend on how high I put it will depend on how hard the game is. I remember the demo, I put it up as high as it could go, and the final demo boss was a pain in the butt, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I don't know if I want to play the whole game like this.
Yeah, I'm playing it basically in the normal setting, because I want it to be not super easy, but I don't want it to be painstakingly difficult.
Yeah,
there's literally only 2 or 3 games in my life that I've wanted to play on hard, so
like super hard mode, yeah. And especially with it being a Final Fantasy game, like Final Fantasy games, they're meant to be a normal, casual, like semi-challenge but story fun game, not like let's grind it out and play some Bloodborne, Souls, hard, like knock my head against the wall.
Exactly.
So it's like I'll probably do that one on normal too, just because I know how difficult the hardest mode is from the demo, and I was like, I did it, but I spent like quite a few hours on that last guy.
Right? It was just wild how difficult that demo was.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we didn't start with anything we said we were going to talk about, but that's because I was like, why not? Elden Ring's been out a month now. Let's talk about that a little bit. But without spoilers, for people who haven't seen it, what were your thoughts on the Jujutsu Kaisen movie?
Without spoilers?
Without spoilers.
Well, that makes it a lot harder. I liked it a lot. It was really good. My kid was super excited over it. We came home and I had mentioned that there was a show on it, and he was going crazy like, can I watch the show? Can I watch the show? Like, do we have it? Is it something? And I was like, well, let me see where the English version is, because you're not going to want to read subtitles. And so he's been binging that like crazy.
Nice.
And then he also started the same weekend. He started My Hero Academia too, and he's been obsessed with that one. So I got him hooked on some good anime.
Nice.
But the movie was really good. The story was very captivating. It's kind of sad towards the end there once you see what all happened, and I was like, oh, it's like poor little guy.
Yeah, I'm excited to get more of him in the story, because he's a third year now, so.
Is he in the show? I don't remember, because I haven't watched it in so long.
He's a second year. He's not in the show yet. He'll be in the next season.
He should be. I would think he'd be second year, right? Because or third year maybe, because the panda and all that, they were in their first year in the movie and their third year in the show, right? So I don't know if they're going to consider him.
Yuta's the second year. Christy just confirmed it for me. I'm like, I can't remember. All I know is he's not there. He's out working.
Consider him on the same level as them, since he like is catching up, or if they're gonna like bump him back a year because they still technically had more experience. He got held back.
But yeah, he's fun. I'm excited to see more of him. He still doesn't beat my best boy Megumi. Megumi is my favorite.
Well, and I want to know. Well, I mean, I guess without spoiling, you'll know what I'm talking about. Based on the way that it ends, I want to know how they what they do to continue with him, because it's like the one primary thing. It's like, oh, well, okay, well, now where does he go? Right. How does he continue in that world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christy just reminded me in the school competition arc, they talk about how he was the reason they won the previous year. So I remember now. It's been a while since I watched those episodes. I tend to just rewatch. I just handpick the episodes I've been watching lately. So I rewatch the last few episodes often because they're so cool.
Yeah, those end episodes were probably the beginning and end were the most intriguing ones. Kept my attention the best.
Yeah, it was really fun watching it in theaters. I love seeing anime films in theaters.
That was the first one I'd ever gone to see in a theater. It was actually really interesting.
So
my girlfriend came, but she fell asleep. She came for the popcorn.
She came for the popcorn, fell asleep during the movie. Sad.
The parts that she got were good, and she only slept maybe 30 minutes of it, so it was she was awake for most of it. She got the big majority at the beginning, and then the end, so she got the important bits.
Oh, that's so funny. What was I gonna say? Oh, so that is based on a volume of the manga that is a prequel to it, and I actually own it, and I've been waiting to read it. Now that I've seen the movie, I should read it, but I keep forgetting to. It just sits pretty on my shelf.
Gotta do it. Hopefully they come out with more. Even if they don't do theater releases, hopefully they just do a movie and release it so we can watch more prequel stuff into the show. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool. I would like to see. I would watch a side film about Nanami, the blonde guy with the tie and the machete knife and with the glasses. I'd watch a side movie about him. I would like that, please.
I think another one that I would I would want a full background movie on. That would be cool. Would be the main guy, the teacher, the one with the blue eyes.
Oh yeah, Gojo.
Yeah.
I know that there's a bunch of flashback stuff for him in the manga, so I imagine we're gonna get that in the anime.
Okay.
So probably in the next season. In fact, I think that's like the next thing coming up in the storyline is flashback stuff. So
Flashback. That'd be really cool.
yeah.
That's kind of off topic a little bit, but how do you feel about the Funimation and Crunchyroll like becoming one?
That's not too off topic. I actually am really okay with it because I was having to pay for both subscriptions and now I don't have to pay for two. And it just means that all my dubbed and subtitled stuff is going to be in the same spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really have a problem with it because, like, I know some people are like, oh, monopolizing. And I'm like, I don't really care as long as they're going to continue to bring me new things to watch and enjoy.
As long as it's all there, like, and I never really, like, was into, like, it's like, which one do you pay for? Like, for me, I would have to pay for Funimation if I was going to do it because that's where like the majority of the dubs are, and that's primarily what I would watch. And if I was going to do it, is because like I'll watch it, I'll do subtitle, that's okay, but my kid won't do subtitle because he can't read fast enough yet. So it's like I'd have to do the Funimation, but then 90% of what I want to watch is on Crunchyroll. So I'm like, damn it. So I was like, I'm just like, you know what, forget it. It's too much. Like, I don't want to worry about it. Like, that's such a hassle. And then when I heard that happened, and then I looked on Crunchyroll, and My Hero was on there, and the Jujutsu Kaisen was on there, Attack on Titan was on there. I'm like, okay, now there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, this is probably worth it now. So I ended up getting a Crunchyroll subscription.
Nice.
So that way my kid could watch it in his room on his PlayStation and all that and everything. So now he's been binge watching it. I'm like, I finally made it worth it.
I know, I was so excited because, like I said, I was paying for both. So I was like, yes, now I don't have to pay for both. Because, like, some of my favorites were split between the two. So, like, over on Funimation is where I'd have to watch Skate. And I was like, oh. Sometimes it was literally the only thing I was paying for, was so I could just keep rewatching Skate.
Watching Skate. A really good show. I like that show
But
a lot.
I'm excited because Skate finally has a Blu-ray release date for the US. It's coming out on June 14th.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes, I'm so stoked for that, so I can own a physical copy of it.
Yep,
Yay!
You can own it, and then it doesn't matter. You can watch it forever.
Exactly. Even if I don't have internet.
Yo,
Yes.
no internet, no problem.
That's actually how I stipulate what I'm gonna buy for anime. It's like, okay, I'm really only allowed to buy stuff that I absolutely am gonna want if I don't have the internet.
Yeah, the only anime I have would be Dragon Ball Z and GT. I want to get Super, but those episodes are too expensive right now.
Yeah, they're still pretty
It's like
pricey.
$60 for like 5 episodes. I'm like, yeah, no. I got like 100+ episodes for Dragon Ball Z for $30. Like, I'm good. Like, you can keep your stuff.
I still need the last like 3 seasons of classic DBZ. I mean, I've seen it all, but I only own seasons 1 through 6.
I want to buy Dragon Ball. I don't have Dragon Ball yet.
Dragon Ball's super fun. I have the first season of that. I need all 5, but
Should check out Amazon.
yeah, I
Find
gotta
them on there.
have
money.
money worth just throwing. But I've been buying other things. Looks over at my new Modao Zushi stuff that I have been getting.
Other anime that you've been crazy over.
It's good.
I want to watch it. I'm gonna get to it eventually. I'm really slow with animes sometimes. It's like I have like weekends where I will watch like 30+ episodes and then I won't touch it again for like 4 months. Like I have problems. It's all TikTok's fault. If TikTok wasn't a thing.
It's all TikTok's fault. No, my biggest problem is I just find a show like I'll go through things where it's like, okay, I'll watch this show, I'll watch this show. And they're all really good. But like every now and then I'll find one show, most recently Modao Tsushi, I'll find one show that I just love and like have to watch over and over and over for a while. And it's weird because it's like it's actually really ridiculous, but it's like my brain, it's like if I go to watch something else, my brain is like, but then this show will be sad because you're not watching it. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have feelings.
You have to watch it.
It's a show. But then like, but I'll be sad. So sometimes I'll be watching something new. Like, for example, I finally finished The Mandalorian recently, and I binged all of Book of Boba Fett last week, and that was awesome. Highly recommend.
I need to watch the Boba Fett one. I haven't watched that yet.
It was good. I really liked it. But I would have like Model Sushi playing on the other screen quietly because my brain was like, yay, I'm still watching it, but I'm watching a new thing too.
Like, we get the best of both worlds. Like, I've seen you enough. I don't need to specifically watch to know what's going on.
It's really a weird thing about me. It's so funny. When I sat back and thought about it recently, I was like, does that make me like really strange? I think it does.
Because I'm addicted.
Does this make me addicted?
That's how I am with Supernatural. I'll rewatch it, season 1 through 15, and then by the time I hit 15, I'm like, I'm ready for season 1 again. Like I can rewatch it. It's been months.
Right? You're like, I'm ready. Oh shoot, too funny. But speaking of new anime, oh, thank you, Amen. Yeah, I have a matching bucket hat that goes with this shirt. I love it. I'd wear it on stream, but it doesn't go over my headset. But the spring season of anime is about to start, and so that's actually what I was thinking about doing on stream tomorrow morning, is watching a bunch of the trailers to see, I don't know, just for fun. I thought it would be fun to do that on stream. If people, I don't think there's anything against watching trailers on stream, so we should be good to go. Yeah. I mean, anyone can go watch them on YouTube anyway, so that's where we're going to be watching them. But that's what I figured we'd do is a lot of the trailers for the upcoming spring anime are available. I thought it'd be fun to do and see if there's anything that
that'd be cool. Give me
grabs
ideas.
my interest.
Because I don't really know much about anything with anime. It's just kind of like I know the really popular ones, and I know the ones that you've given me, and then I know ones that I hear about and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now that I have now that my kid's on Crunchyroll and all that, and I have it, I'll probably dig into it more than I have before. But
there's a lot on there.
No. It's funny. I was almost thinking about since my kid will binge watch stuff and watch a crazy amount of episodes he's got all day and stuff. Mm-hmm. I was almost thinking about getting him into that one. I think it's One Piece.
Oh,
that has 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big one. That's one of Christy's favorites. Is One Piece.
I hear it's really good. I almost want to get into it, but I was like, I really should probably finish all the ones that have ended or catch up on the seasons, and then that one will be the one I watch when there's nothing else currently running.
When there's nothing else to watch.
It'll be my in-between one because there's so many.
Oh man, yeah, so many. I tried to get into it back when there was 300 episodes or something, and I don't know. It didn't grab me, but it might grab you. Some people are like, "Oh, you should skip to episode, it's 60 or something." And they're like, it's really good after 60. I'm like, that's
so much content.
I was like, that's so many episodes.
There's a lot of stuff to be missing out on. Unless it's filler content, which then it's can you redo it like Dragon Ball Z did, where they did Kai and they took out all the filler stuff and just made the actual stuff that people cared about. But I love the way Kai was.
See, I have a hard time. I have a hard time with Kai because I don't have a hard time with Kai, but one of my favorite episodes of Dragon Ball Z, classic DBZ ever, is a filler episode, which is not in Kai, and that's the Driver's Ed episode.
Oh, with Piccolo?
Yeah, when Goku and Piccolo have to go to driver's ed. I think that's one of the best episodes.
Yeah. That's
ever.
like one of few though, compared to how many they actually have.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, for sure. Like, the entire Garlic Jr. saga is filler, and no one needs it. No one needs Garlic Jr.
That was kind of like his voice in itself is just aggravating. Like if you change his voice, I might be able to like push through it, but that's like as bad as the LARPing episodes in Supernatural. Like
I love
like
the LARPing
Charlie.
episodes!
I like Charlie, but the LARPing stuff is just like, no, this doesn't fit in Supernatural. I was like, this does not work. Oh my God.
I think those are so funny.
It was hard to watch. For sure.
That's
Every time I rewatch the season, I'm like, no, not the Ghost Facers.
Ghost Facers. So good. Oh my gosh. The Ghost Facers make me laugh because I really love like the actual series Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters. That's the Zach guy, right? He's all buff.
Yeah, I think that's
He's a
him.
good one. I like that show.
But yeah, so that's why I like the Ghost Facers, because it's just an over dramatic version of that.
I like them towards like the later bits, like after they've been in the show like 3 or 4 times, and like down the road they start to get a little bit better when they're not like the pretend people who think like they're just out there faking it, and then they're like, oh, this is actually real. Oh,
Like,
God.
oh.
Like, we were just kidding. This isn't what we wanted.
Oh, it's so fun. Cool. But yeah. Oh, back to anime in theaters really quick. I was going to recommend this weekend, so April 3rd, so Sunday. So they have this thing, what do they call it? I think it's Ghibli Fest? Hold on, let me double check.
Just makes me think of Ghibli bits.
Oh, no. Yeah, Ghibli Fest is what they call it. So, Studio Ghibli, or Hayao Miyazaki's films, so like Princess Mononoke, Howl's Movies and Castle, really all classic, fantastic films. Once a month, well, 3 days a month, limited release, they've been doing one of those films. And I was gonna say, if you have the chance, you should go see Princess Mononoke, because it's one of my favorite films of all time, and it's playing this weekend. I was just gonna recommend it because it's really good.
I would look into it, but I'm going to see.
You're going?
Morbius.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Otherwise, I would.
That's
probably
valid. Well, then you should watch it online somewhere. I don't know where it's available. I think you'd have to buy it. I don't think it's for rent anywhere. I have no clue. I just own it, so.
I'll check.
It's
I'll
a good
Google
one.
it tonight and see where it is. Maybe I can find it on something.
Yes, it's a good one, Jackie. It's
I still need to finish the other one. The Princess, was it Fenya?
Fena,
Yeah.
Fena, Pirate Princess.
I've got like 4 episodes left. I've been trying to. Every time I think about it, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like, tomorrow I'm gonna do it, and then tomorrow comes, and I forget, and it's like, I'm slowly remembering more often, so it's coming up. Probably in the next like week or two, I'll binge it and finish it out.
Cool. You'll have to let me know when you finish it, what you think. All right.
I think the last episode I watched, she was taken, and they had just rescued her or something like that. I think it was right around there. I remember the one girl got punched or kicked in the face, or she kicked somebody in the face. Wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
They were in the cave. Yeah.
Karin
Yeah.
got kicked in the face.
And then the one girl understood why the dude always was smacking the girl in the head. She's like, I get it now.
Yeah, it's so
It
good.
makes sense. You talk a lot.
It's like, stop. Shh. Quiet. Oh, so good. All right, so I did want to talk about a few games that are coming out later this year. I thought it was so funny. You're like, I don't know what's coming out later. I just have this. like I have Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden. It took over my life so bad. It's crazy. I did not expect it. Like, literally, all I had planned was like Elden Ring and Horizon and Strangers, and then one of the ones you mentioned, Forspoken.
Forspoken, yeah.
that was gonna be my year, and then maybe anything random that might have popped up, depending on what else I was playing and how much those were taking up, like sucking up my life and stuff. And like I still got some Switch games and other PlayStation games that I want to play. Like I downloaded some PS4 stuff too, like Shadow of the Colossus. I've never played that, so I was like, that's one to play.
It's a good game.
Detroit Human, never played that. I'm like, that's one to play. So it's like I've got all these other like backlog games and stuff, and I still got my PC backlog and everything. So I'm like, I don't really need any new games. So unless it's like a big title that I absolutely have to play, Elden Ring, Horizon, things like that, I'm like, then I don't really care. It can all wait, and I'll get it on sale in like a year or two when I finally finish my other games.
Yeah, I probably won't get any of these at release, but they all look interesting to me, so I wanted to talk about them.
Yeah, I did watch videos on them. There was one that stuck out specifically. I don't remember the name. It's the Trek.
Oh
something.
yeah, Trek to Yomi by
Yeah, that
Devolver Digital.
It made me. I had two games that came to mind. One was Song of Iron. It looked like almost exactly. It reminded me of that game almost exactly, but Japanese style, or like Ghost of Tsushima. Like if you took Ghost of Tsushima, made it a side scroller, and then took the art style of Song of Iron and mashed it up, that's the game.
Yeah.
I loved Song of Iron. It was an amazing game. So like I saw that and I was like, this actually looks really good.
Yeah, I saw it in the because I just went and watched the like state of play from a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm gonna drop the trailer in the chat for anyone who might want to watch it. It's called Trek to Yomi, but yeah, it's by Devolver Digital, and you know, they put out some pretty unique titles from everything I've seen. But yeah, it's like a grayscale. Everything's done in like black, white, gray. Side-scrolling, samurai adventure. Looks really cool. It has to do with like adventuring beyond life. And I don't know. I think it looks really cool. It's gonna be available on everything but the Switch. And by everything, I mean like PS4, PS5. Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. So, literally everything but Switch. But yeah, I'm super stoked for that one. I think if I get any of these at release, it might be that one if I'm not in the middle of playing anything.
I wonder how long it'll be.
I don't know.
It looks really good though. It's definitely one that I want to look at and check out, depending on how much it's going to be.
But it has a very, the style of it also reminded me of, actually, Ammon just said in chat, reminds me of Limbo, which is done by the same people that did the Little Nightmares games. And that was kind of the vibe I was getting off of it as well. So, yeah. And I loved those. So,
I haven't played the second with them.
ooh,
yet.
the second one. Oh,
I love the first one.
The second one was so good. I loved it so much, and it has such an incredible twist at the end. Like, yeah, the first one was so good, and then I played the second one and I was just blown away. But let's see. Probably the next one on this that I'm like really excited about is that Diofield Chronicle, because it looks like it's basically it's basically a new it's a new strategy RPG.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Fire Emblem, but that alone pretty much makes me like I want to get it.
Yeah, at first when I was watching it, I was like, oh, is this going to be I was thinking maybe we were going to get a new Final Fantasy Tactics, but
I've never played Tactics or seen anything on it, so I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it was originally on Game Boy Advance or PS1. I don't remember which one came first, but really good. Again, strategy RPG. But yeah, so that's at first what I thought this was going to be, but then it was something else. But it looks like it's going to be really cool. So I'm going to drop a trailer in chat for anyone that's interested in that. But yeah, it's a real-time tactical battle system. It's going to be available on everything. So previous consoles, current consoles, including Switch and PC.
Yeah, the trailer I watched was for Switch.
But I feel like I love the Switch, but I do feel like it might run better on other
console,
things.
Yeah.
Just
Console,
putting it out
something.
there. If I have the chance to get on the console, like on PlayStation, then that's probably what I'll choose. But yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like the art style a lot. I thought it was really really unique. Anyone ever play Dark Deity? I keep getting recommended it. I've not even heard of that. Have you heard of Dark Deity?
No, I haven't. I'm about to look it up.
I know, I'm like, what is this?
How do you spell deity?
Diety, I believe.
Okay. Let's see here. Dark Deity launch trailer. It was 13 days ago for the launch trailer. See here. Yeah, nope, not for me.
This looks like something I would play, maybe.
Yeah. It's a hard no for me.
That's okay. Not every style of game is for everyone.
Yeah. I would watch somebody play this, but it's just the art style, the whole like, this is like 90s Zelda game. It's like,
Jackie says it's pretty good. I would say it's more like a cheaper Fire Emblem in all sense of the word. Oh, okay. Dark Deity. Gotcha. It's like a Octopath adjacent. I'll have to watch a trailer on that myself later.
Octopath's graphics are like pushing it. They're like, I barely accept them.
But they're like so uniquely beautiful though. Like the lands, like what really gets it for me in Octopath is like all the like the landscapes and like the cities. I don't know. I just think it's really uniquely beautiful.
It's
even though
different.
it's like
It's not the
done
same.
in a retro style.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a pretty retro style.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I am looking forward to Dialfield Chronicle. Again, I probably won't get it at release, but I think it's gonna be. I'm excited to dip my toes into it.
Yeah, it looks good.
What did you think about Valkyrie Elysium?
The brief bit that I saw, it reminds me of like a Final Fantasy with the newer battle system, like what you like Final Fantasy 15 and what they were showing for 16. When I last saw it, it kind of reminds me of that battle style and graphics. It looks really good. It's definitely one that I feel like could be a contender for like Final Fantasy for me, like where I'll play it and get absolutely hooked and hope like heck that they build like a franchise on it and just keep it going.
Well, I mean, it actually is already a part of a franchise that started like back in '99
Ugh,
on PlayStation 1, I believe, is when the first one came out. And the rest of them were on like PS2 and then like PSP. But yeah, no, this one looks really, really good. I think it looks awesome. But they did state that even though it is a part of a franchise, it is going to be its own original story. So new people to the franchise can play it without worrying about missing out on any of the story of the previous games. It's funny that you would compare it so closely to Final Fantasy because, well, it is a Square Enix game. So many of these games on my list are. I realized, I was like, wow, Square has announced a lot of things lately.
Yeah.
Because even Forspoken is a Square Enix game.
Yeah. It looks like, so I just looked it up. There's Valkyrie Profile, which is 99, and then Valkyrie Profile 2, which is 2006, Profile Covenant, which is 2008, and then Origin, which is 2016. So maybe I could probably go back to like
I only
6 or 8. I'll probably
played
just watch like playthroughs.
I only played the first one, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I never got around to playing the others, but I liked
probably
the
watch,
one I played.
Like, playthroughs or recaps or something of those 4, and then just play this one because this one looks really good. And
That's
especially if
probably the way to do it.
if it's like a standalone story, then that's even better.
Yeah.
I love that. That's one thing I love about Square is they do that a lot. Like most of the Final Fantasy games are standalones, but each one is amazing. So it's like you could pick up and play any of them and be fine. Obviously, there's recommended ones to play and stuff that are really good, better than others. But that's like each person has their own individual opinion on which one is better. But generally, there's like a general consensus in the community of like, mostly it's like, okay, everybody likes this group of them and each person has their favorite of those specific ones, but they still like all the other ones too.
Exactly. Like, as a whole, Final Fantasy is one of my top 3 franchises, probably top 3 or 4, but you know, I obviously have my favorites within that. And even within my favorites, I have my top favorite. So
yeah, I think Final Fantasy, Star Ocean, and Kingdom Hearts are like my top 3 franchises.
Star Ocean.
Star Ocean is amazing.
So good.
Till the End of Time is by far the best one.
That's been my favorite one so far too.
I still need to finish my other playthrough on Integrity or whatever. The one
Integrity and Faithlessness.
Yeah. I'm somewhere in the middle of that one. Haven't finished it yet because other things came out and I got stuck.
I haven't finished that one yet either, but I also haven't even started that one yet, so it's okay. I own it. I bought it the day it came out.
Still not.
It's on the shelf.
You'll get
It's waiting for me to get to it.
It's definitely not. It's definitely a sideline game for sure. It's like, I don't got nothing else, so let's play this. It's gonna be a good game. But if something better comes along, then I'm sorry.
Oh no. I definitely hear that it's like one of the lower ranked Star Oceans, which is really unfortunate.
I've played multiple of the Star Oceans. None of them compared to Till the End of Time. Like every time I play another one,
that was my first one, and I want them all to be that game.
Yep, I want every single game to be that and nothing else but that. I just want continuations. Like I try to play another one, and the whole time I'm playing, even if I'm enjoying it, I'm just thinking about Till the End of Time.
You're like, man, I wish I was playing Till the End of Time.
Yep. I just want to go back to play that one. And I'm like, oh god, like it's such a good game. I could play that one. Like that and Final Fantasy VII are like my top 2 games. Aside from like Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, and even that, still I would put that at like number 3. And then like Space 1 is tied. I guess number 2 because Space 1 is tied with Till the End of Time and Final Fantasy VII. I don't know which one is better, but with the remake of 7, once all the parts come out, that may just kill everything forever.
Might destroy everything.
I don't think anything will stand a chance because the first one was so good. Like I was so obsessed. I don't know what it is though. Like I wasn't the biggest fan about them releasing a DLC for extra money and all that. I felt like it was a money grab and just for them to postpone and say, oh well, we screwed up. We didn't quite plan right, so here's something to give you to hold you off. And it's like, I still haven't finished the DLC yet.
What?
I still need to finish
haven't finished Integrate?
No, I'm like an hour in. I think I finished like the first chapter or whatever. Like I played it that one day, and that's it.
Now one day, and that's all I've done.
I think what's gonna end up happening is part 2 will get announced, and I'm gonna plan to replay all of part 1, and then I'll probably just restart Integrate, play it, actually beat it, and then that one will end, and I'll go straight into part 2.
There we go. You'll have to plan it just right, because...
Yeah, I want to finish Integrate, like... I'll look at how long it's going to take, and I'll need to finish Integrate, like, the day before it releases.
Oh, man. Yep. There's a game that I...
Because if part 2 comes out and I haven't finished Integrate will again get put on the back burner and I won't finish it again.
Oh, no.
So I have to make sure I finish it like before. So I'll probably look up how long it is. I think it's like 10 hours or something. But I'll Google like how many hours the average player takes, and then I'll make sure that I have exactly like probably double that amount of time.
Yeah, I don't remember how long. I don't remember if that was a 2-session game for me or a 3-session game for me. Well, game. DLC, not game. But you know what I mean.
It's a DLC. It's an add-on.
Yeah. I haven't 100%ed Integrate, because I don't want to have to, in order to 100% it, you have to be like really amazing at the little mini game. And I'm like, do I want to worry about that?
Yeah, maybe. Like, it's a side game. It's
like,
not the main
I'm like,
game.
I 100%ed the main game. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, basically. No, the side content is just, it's filler content to get you by until the actual game comes out.
It was so funny. Was it last week? I think it was last week. I was like, man, I'm not really feeling Elden Ring. I still played Elden Ring, but it was funny because, and Christy, my roommate, she's like, is it a chapter 9 night? And I didn't even have to ask what she meant. I knew exactly that she meant chapter 9 of Remake because that's the best chapter.
It is. It's by far, like, I love that chapter.
It's so good.
It makes the game.
It's a perfect blend of, battle and comedy and story, and it's just so good.
I think what is going to be, like, one of the biggest time sinks for me in whatever part it comes out in is going to be, which most likely the next part, but is the
Gold Saucer,
the casino Gold Saucer.
Yep.
Yeah, that I will, like, I never really cared to do a whole lot there in the first game. The most I actually did the most there on my last playthrough, because I did all the chocobo races and actually I've never did any chocobo breeding in my life until that last game, and I googled it and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But if they put all that in the new one, and you can breed chocobos, and then the games, and if they add any new games or just the original games, like, I will probably spend like 20 hours just messing around in there, like getting
Part
coins
2
and
is
doing
just gonna
whatever.
be Gold Saucer and chocobo breeding.
Nothing else. That's like, give me that, and you've got yourself like 2 years to get me a game before I run out of content.
So funny. All right. Because as we know, we could talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake all day. In fact, we really just need to dedicate 1 or 2 of these to talking about that game. We really do. Right. Maybe next time. Maybe that's what we should just let ourselves talk about it. Like, who cares? It's always relevant, right?
Final Fantasy VII.
Always relevant.
I'm hoping that it comes out by the end of this year, or like
I don't think we'll see it this year because we haven't got any kind of announcement for it.
We haven't gotten anything yet. I was
unless it like blows us out of the park with, like, we get like an E3 or like a Tokyo Game Show announcement, and it's like end of 2022 or like holiday 2022. We'll be like, what?
Most likely, because they push back for Spoken, my guess is it's not going to make it until like end of 2023, which is ridiculously long.
Forspoken was supposed to be in May, so when I saw it got pushed back to October, I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about it for a while.
Right, initially I thought it was going to be perfect, because like in December, that's what my girlfriend got me that game, and she's like, I know it's not coming out, but like I'm gonna get it because I know you want it and everything. And I was like debating on ordering it or not at the time, so I was like, okay, this will be perfect because I got February for Horizon. That'll take me 2-3 weeks. I beat that, then I can do Elden for a month or so, and then I got Strangers, and I can do that for like a couple weeks to a month, and then Forspoken will come out, and I can do that for a bit, and then we'll go from there. And maybe I'll cycle to an older game or go back to Elden or whatever it be. And it's like,
Elden destroyed your plans for everything.
Elden destroyed everything. Yeah, that completely wrecked it. And so it's like, in a way, I don't really care that it got pushed back, because I'm going to be on Elden for the next probably like 2-3 months anyways, and then I've got all the other games to go back to. So it's like, I don't really care about it being pushed back, but at the same time, it's like, did you guys get scared because Elden came out and you're like, that people are sinking too much time into this? We better give them time to get through all these games.
That's why I feel bad for Horizon, because I feel like
Horizon and Strangers, because people were hyped for both of them a ton, and then Elden came out and it did what it did to me, to everybody. it destroyed all games.
I think I'm the only person I know that is playing Elden Ring that's like, yeah, it's all right. I've been enjoying it, but Like
do other
off stream, I'm playing another playthrough of The Last of Us 2 right now. Like I'm
Oh really?
I was really feeling a hankering to play that, and I was like, do I make my stream suffer through that game again, or do I actually play off stream? I was like, oh, I'll play off stream. I don't ever.
The only thing I'm doing off stream is Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
I think in like 20 hours over the weekend into that game.
That's
so
hilarious.
it's like I don't have a life right now. Just
So
Elden.
the last game I want to talk about before we end for the night is actually kind of controversial for me. It's hard. So Hogwarts Legacy, I watched a 15-minute video on that today, and it actually looks like everything I would ever want out of a Harry Potter game. Because it's not Harry Potter. It's like its own original thing, and you get to play your own, you get to make your own Witcher wizard, like customizable Witcher wizard, and it takes place in like the 1800s. So like hardly any of the characters are characters that we know, and it's like super explorative and gonna be like this really big, cool, like, it looks really cool. But I have a really hard time with buying official Harry Potter things anymore because of certain things that the creator has said. So it's really hard for me. I'm trying to debate on whether or not I'm going to let myself get it.
Yeah, it's like, you know she still gets profits.
Exactly. And I'm like, like I don't have
they're really good.
I know, but like,
and the game does it, like the last Harry Potter game I played was like, it was like PlayStation 2 or something, like way back in the day when things were like 32-bit or something, and it was horrible and glitchy and boxes, and I hated it. It was not Harry Potter at all.
So my favorite Harry Potter game I ever played was actually Quidditch World Cup.
I never played that one.
It was so fun. I played so many hours of that game. But
the new one, it does, like you said, it looks different. I need to watch a new trailer on it.
There's like a 15-minute like state of play. Sony State of Play did its own like 14.5-minute presentation on it like a week or two ago. I recommend watching that one. It tells you a lot about what the game is going to be about. Like I said, I'm really torn because I want to play it, but I don't want to give that person my money.
Yeah. It's kind of hard in a lot of ways. For me, I just kind of treat it as like, if I enjoy it, I mean, if you think about everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, there's probably hundreds of companies that have those same ideals.
I know, but there's actually a lot of companies that I don't do business with because of their opinions of certain things. Yep. Like,
and it makes sense.
Hot take, I don't buy Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I haven't been there because of my diet, but if it wasn't for my diet, I love their chicken sandwich. It's
That's
really
alright.
good.
I let people live in their ignorant happy worlds. It's okay. I don't need to spread the sad, like, some of the things that there's just some places I don't eat because of certain things, or like.
But it makes sense. I get it.
Like, but I do love the Harry Potter universe, and it is great. And I could talk all day about that, but the point being is,
I'm looking at the State of Play right now.
It looks really cool.
It does look really, really good.
And like the idea of making my own Witcher wizard, like fully customized, is really enticing to me, because it's like all I've ever wanted out of a Harry Potter game is to not be Harry Potter, is to be my own person.
The graphics are still a little for me. I wish they were.
We'll see.
A little bit higher end, more real. Like,
I feel
the
like
magic part looks really good. It's the people.
I feel like everyone but the people look like, I feel like the environments look really incredible and the magic looks really incredible. I feel like the people are probably stylized on purpose though. So they are stylized for sure. They're definitely not. I mean, we've played games. We've played games where people look real, like Last of Us 2, for example. The people in that game look like freaking real people.
Yeah, and that part of like for me, I think I've gotten spoiled with things like that because I play games like that, and now that's all I want is realistic people and realistic environments and things that look really like amazing. And then when they bring out stuff like that, I'm like, I was expecting more. Like, if you're gonna go with something that's gonna be like like a Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy, and you're just gonna like kind of go away from the realism, don't make them look cartoony but real. Like, it just kind of like off-putting for me.
Right. If you're gonna stylize it, stylize the whole thing.
Yeah, don't do just parts, and like don't pick and choose. And I get it. You're probably trying to like save resources on the people because everybody wants to see the big fancy flashy magic and all that stuff. So it's like with you want to put your extra resources there, so save on the graphic count for things that people don't mind as much. But
yeah, but oh well. But yeah, I think it looks really cool. For anyone who's a huge Harry Potter fan, take a look at that last video I posted. It does look really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything. We talked about everything I wanted to touch on and more.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel it was really good. It fills our hour nice and full. I do want to inform everyone that we are permanently moving this to Wednesdays because we keep forgetting about Mondays. I don't know what it is about Monday, but we keep forgetting.
We do. We remember as you start streaming.
I know, I'm like, oh!
We're like, oh no.
We're supposed to be talking. We're also going to try doing this on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays. So we're going to try doing it twice a month. So in April, we'll be doing this on the 13th and the 27th. But yeah, I will post out reminders like I did for today. I think next time we should let ourselves talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So
yeah.
So I think that's gonna be the next topic, everyone. If you want to think about what you want to talk about.
Say Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then whatever we get sidetracked with.
Right. But really, for real though, I think you and I could talk about that for a couple of sessions and
probably
not run out of things to talk about.
There's a lot of things that Final Fantasy brings that you can, especially that one. 7 is huge. It's a big one.
But because I forgot Groot, I usually do it. But anyone who doesn't know, I'm always shouting him out. This is Dupree. He has a face.
I do. Normally, I do stream from my computer, but I've been obsessed with games that aren't on my computer lately, so I've been here. I've been faceless.
Not a problem. It's been great.
You know, I've got clips, I've got VODs. It's okay.
It's
Follow me
fine.
on TikTok, Twitter, and you see my face there.
Yeah, go check him out. He's a cool dude. He's been grinding that Elden Ring super hard lately.
Yeah, I'm getting to the end game, but I'm just gonna play a new game immediately after, so there will be more Elden Ring.
Cool. All right. Well, anything you want to say before I let you go?
Well, I guess I'll wait because I don't want to spoil it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's about Elden Ring. It was just a thing that can happen in the game, but then I'm like, no, I'll wait till you like. I would have never figured it out, but you never know. You might accidentally stumble across it. I wouldn't have. Just
Gotcha.
I don't use the item that you have to have. I never use it, so I'm just like, okay. I saw a TikTok about it, and I was like, that's crazy.
Oh, wild. Yeah, I've noticed there's some pretty wild, like very like specific triggered things in that game.
Yeah, there's one that I can tell you if you don't already know that I know you won't figure out.
Go for it.
In one of the castles, somebody found a wall that has HP, and you hit it like 50
times. Yeah, okay.
and it disappears.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I went to the wall. It's nothing. It just opens up a back hallway into a room that you've already been in, and then when you sit at the grace point, the wall goes back, and it's like, Are you kidding?
It even respawns.
Yeah. It's like, what is the point? And who figured that out? And what, like, are there other walls like that will actually lead somewhere, or is that just a meme, like, hidden trophy secret that they put in the game for whatever? And it's just like
it's just a Miyazaki meme.
Yeah.
He just put that in there as a meme.
Yeah.
He's like,
here you go. He's like, here, have this along with multiple poison swamps because I just like to mess with the players and I know everybody hates poison, so poison everywhere. And it's like,
yep.
Dang it, man.
What a butt.
But I had fun. I will
Yes.
come to lurk in your stream and hang out while you play some. You're doing Elden Ring tonight?
Yep. It's Elden Ring night. So.
All right.
Thanks again for hanging out and chatting with me, guys. Say goodnight to Dupree, everyone. He's gonna go.
Bye.
I'm gonna go to a BRB screen really quick while I switch over to Elden Ring, and